Hello guys, and welcome back. So this is video number 2 for the good, bad, and the ugly. This is the ugly. So my birthday week was very difficult for me. I got into it with pretty much everybody close to me, and the difference between getting into it the previous video and this one is when you get into it with your family. And how difficult that can be. So for me, right, my family has always been my support system. That is my core. That is who I need and can't go without. If I fall off with my mother, that's pretty much like suicide. It's the end of my world. Because she, between both of my parents, she has always been there for me. Always been there for me. You know, even if it's just a phone call or, you know, I'm scared about something or I just want some advice, she's always been there for me. On top of course, raising all 3 of us as a single mom. So getting into it with your family, I've noticed that this year has been extremely important with me enforcing boundaries. Boundaries is something that I never really had before. I would give and give and give and give until I was exhausted. And then I would start to resent all the people around me that I gave to, because why would you guys let me give so much until I'm exhausted and I have nothing left for myself? Well, it's because it's not their place to decide how much too much giving is for you. You have to be the one to say, okay, you know what? I need to put a boundary here because I can do this, this, and this, but I cannot continue to do X, Y, Z. I've always tried to be a person of reliance and a person of dependability because that's what I expect back from the people that I associate with or the people that I rely and depend on. I will always try my best to, if you call me with an issue or a problem or you need my help, I will bend over backwards 9 times out of 10 to help you with whatever the issue is. You need somewhere to stay, or you just need to borrow some money for a short time, or even if you just need somebody to vent to, you know, without an opinion, or even if you are looking for advice. I've always tried to be that person. So it's hard for me to expect that from other people and not have those same character traits myself. I do not ask people to do things that I'm not capable of doing. So it's really important to me that I am able to embody the same qualities that I look for in other people. So when it comes to the boundaries, I've learned that I have reached my limit when it comes to being relied on in a certain extent. Right now, my focus is my health, meaning my mental health, my physical health, and my baby's health. That is my #1 priority. That's it. Nobody goes on top of that, not even my boyfriend. My mental health, my physical health, and my baby's health are the most important things to me right now. Any pregnant, expecting mother, it's automatic. It's something that you just do. Like, my mother bear instincts are so high from the moment, and this is where my boyfriend and I disagree, because to him it's not really real until the baby actually forms a heartbeat and, you know, it can move and, you know, you see it on a sonogram and it resembles the baby and everything. My instincts kicked in from when the test turned positive. So December the 26th, when I took that test, my little sister and I took that test in my room, and that test said positive. My mother bear instincts kicked in right then and there. Of course, I'm learning more as I'm going along, but for me, and I think a lot of men feel similar to DJ, where they don't make a connection to the baby until it's viewable for them, until they can see it, until they can. For moms, it's different because we're carrying this baby. It's almost impossible to not have a tie, to know that you are creating life within your body. Symptoms start in the very beginning. First trimester, you have nausea, you have headaches, your emotions are all over the place, you have crazy mood swings, you know, you have your appetite is up and down, you know, of course, until you actually miss your cycle. For me, I'm very in tune with my body. Any slight change I usually pick up on very quickly, so I knew something was up. So for me, my boundaries when it comes to me protecting my health and the health of my baby, it doesn't kick in when I see it on the sonogram. I mean, it definitely intensifies, don't get me wrong. Like, I love that first sonogram. Something changed within me, but it was something that I already had, and I think it just magnified. So that is a #1 priority, and you would be surprised at the people who don't understand that type of mindset, where sometimes that means I can't listen to you and your problems because I care about you, and your issues take a toll on me, whether you realize that or not. So sometimes that means that I can't listen to you vent the way that I used to. Sometimes that means I'm not able to do the same favors that I was able to do before. You know, I can't always be that person that's willing to bend over backwards, because now I have someone else to think about. It's not just about me anymore. And so that has really changed a lot of things. And I know that the changes probably won't always be forever, but at least for right now, anybody who cannot respect my boundaries when it comes to my mental health and my physical health and the health of my baby, they can't be around me right now. They can't be around me, whether it's something that they realize that they're consciously doing or not. Negativity is a very big no-no. Like, I keep a lot of my worry and my anxiety and my stress to myself. I don't want to share it with people, because when you share, when you breathe life into something, it gives it more energy, and I don't want too much energy to go into my worries and fears. I would rather that energy go into positive affirmations, positive thinking, positive outcomes. I don't want to give life to the things that I'm scared of and I worry about, because in my mind that makes them more real, and I don't need after losing 2 pregnancies, I don't need that included in this one. So that's the main thing. And I think when you're putting in new boundaries, especially boundaries that you have never had before, it does impact everyone around you, and it does start with the people that are closest to you, because you've been doing this thing for so long. Let's just say, hypothetically, you let them use your car because you commute to work all the time. So you let them use your car, and now that you have appointments that you have to keep up with, and now that you can't get around as easily as you used to because, I don't know, you gained 25 pounds and you're short of breath, or, you know, there's some unforeseen complications or just some precautions that you need to take. Let's just say you decide, you know what, I'm gonna be stressing out trying to take Ubers and trying to take Metro and stuff. I know I let you use my car throughout the week, but I can't do it anymore. You're gonna have to find another means of transportation. Sometimes when you get to that point where you express that to them, they're pissed because they're used to you doing things a certain type of way. And now that you're not doing them, a lot of the time, the truth is, they don't care what the reason is. Some people can, you know, practice compassion and put themselves in your shoes and say it's understandable, but it does not stop the negative feelings that they have about you. And just me being compassionate and putting myself in that person's shoes, it is easy for me to see how they would be upset. But at the end of the day, hey, listen, I was doing you this favor. I wasn't obligated to do this favor for you. We didn't sign no contract that said that you have to use my car. It was just something that helped you out, and I didn't mind because it didn't cause me any extra stress or any extra burden. Everybody has the right to, if it becomes a burden or if it becomes too much, or even if you literally just don't want to, you can decide when you don't want to do something anymore. It doesn't always need an explanation. I don't mind giving explanations because I know how it feels when you thought you could rely on somebody for something and now you can't. I get it. But at the same time, I'm realizing now that I'm in the situation, everybody has a right to just say, I don't want to do this anymore. It was a favor for you, and I understand how convenient that it was. And I understand, you know, that there was some slight benefits on both ends, but I don't want to do this anymore. At least for this time being, I don't want to do this anymore. And then it's up to them to decide how they want to react. If it's fuck you and forget you then, or if it's, you know what, I understand, but I'm going to just take some time because now I got to figure out my own stuff. Or if they don't miss a beat and they're just like, you know what, that's fine. Thank you so much for letting me use it in the first place. It's really, all you can do is express the boundaries that you have and stick to them. It's not your place to try to decide how they should be reacting or how they're going to treat you afterwards. And so your family members are always the first ones to test your boundaries, because you know there's a sense of entitlement there where, oh, that's for everybody else, I'm family. Or, you know, how my mom loves to say, well, I'm your mother. And even though it's true, like, of course you hold your parents in a much higher regard than you hold your siblings, or, you know, you'll hide your siblings in a much higher regard. Sorry, I'm gonna plug this in while I'm filming. But even if it's you hold your siblings in a much higher regard than, of course, you would do your friends or your coworkers or anything like that. Even when that is the case, that doesn't always mean that you're allowed to cross my boundaries. I have this boundary in place for a reason. And so how focused I am on my health and my baby's health during this whole 3-trimester pregnancy is not anything that anybody is on top of, not even the co-creator to this baby. So it's just like, I'm not going to sacrifice this boundary for anybody. So for me, mental health is a lot of different things. That means, you know, that's something as small as, if you have a nasty attitude, don't come around me, because I don't want to pick up on that. I don't want to be around that. I'm very sensitive right now. So a lot of things that didn't really bother me necessarily before may impact me differently now, you know. And then it's as big as, you know, don't start an argument with me. If I'm not reacting the way that you want me to, or I'm not doing something the way that you want me to, you really need to be careful in the way you express that to me, because I am hormonal right now. I'm pregnant right now. My body is changing constantly every day. I've never had to experience the things that I'm experiencing now, and it's not easy for me. So if you're going to communicate with me, if you're going to interact with me, I need you to be more compassionate than you normally would. Put yourself in my shoes. Remember that I'm expecting, and that I might not have all my screws together today. I might be a wallowing mess. Why are you crying? Oh, because the wildlife show that I was watching, the wolf mother died protecting her baby. Like, you never know with pregnant women. And the thing is, women who have been pregnant and fathers who have been with expectant women, you guys know this already. It should be common knowledge for a lot of people, but that's why I'm doing videos like this, and I'm doing a channel like this, because you may think that it's just you. You may think that you're the only person experiencing these things, and it's like, no. Pregnant people are gonna be hormonal. Pregnant people are gonna be emotional. Pregnant people are going to be sensitive. If you're part of the rare few where your emotions aren't on a roller coaster during this time frame, that is wonderful for you. But I am one of those people who I am heavily, heavily impacted. I mean, sometimes I'm sick of myself. I am sick of my own self. I overthink a bunch of things. I'm crying about everything. You know, if you yell at me about one little thing, I used to be able to just yell right back and to hell with you if we don't see on the same page. Now I cry over everything. I cry over everything. Even if I don't let you know I'm crying, I'm going to go in my room and cry about it. Or I'm going to get off the phone and cry about it. I'm so emotional. I'm so sensitive because of the hormones that are in my system. It's nature. It's normal. This is a normal thing because I'm one of those people where I'm really harsh on myself. If I feel like I've messed up, or if I see the error of my ways, you don't really have to lecture me about it, because I've dug in my own ass about it. For a long time, I pretty much like beat my own stuff up. I used to be very harsh, and that's another thing that I do. I'm becoming nicer to myself because, like I said in the first video, where I don't ask people to do things that I'm not capable of doing. So if I want somebody to be nicer to me when they're upset, I try to do that for myself first. So when I mess up something or I forget something, I'm not, the first thing I say to myself is not, oh, you fucking idiot, why you didn't do that properly? No, the first thing I say is, you know what? You didn't get this right, but it's okay. It's okay. You're pregnant. You got foggy brain or whatever they call it. You know, it's okay. You'll do better next time. It's all right. It's not the end of the world. You don't need to beat yourself up. I am doing all of the things that I expect everyone else around me to do. So, fighting with my family is probably one of the most biggest difficulties I've had during this pregnancy, because like I said, they're my core. So when I feel like I'm at odds with my core, I don't feel stable. I don't feel supported. I don't feel protected. I don't feel like I'm taken care of the way that I would normally be feeling taken care of. And a lot of it is mental. You know, of course, my brother and my mother know that I still love them. We still show each other love. Like, I sent my brother a couple of very nasty text messages, and then I saw him the next day. And I was like, oh, shit. I just cussed you out, and I have to see you. Well. Oh, well. Hey. Hi. Hello. It's me, the angry pregnant person. And, you know, luckily my brother surprised me a lot. He, you know, he didn't make things awkward or weird. He was just like, oh, hey, what's up, y'all? He kind of looked at me crazy, and I was like, oh, hello. And, you know, we just acted normally, because sometimes there are issues where if you've talked about it over and over and over and over, it's not something that you need to continually discuss. Eventually, action is going to take place, and those actions will show you everything that you need. Like, I didn't feel like we needed a whole talk after we had our disagreement about those boundary lines that I shared with you guys. I didn't feel like we needed to have a whole nother talk about, oh yeah, so, you know, I'm sorry for sending those text messages, because I'm not sorry for sending them. I'm not sorry for expressing myself. However I choose to express myself is probably not the best way to say what I want to say, but everybody has limits, and that's what I mean by practicing compassion. I'm hormonal. Like, a lot of people don't understand what that means. That means I'm not always 100% in control of my emotions. I'm not always 100% capable of, don't be irrational right now. Don't yell and scream right now. Don't cry right now. I can't always be in charge of that. I'm trying to fuel a whole nother life, so I can't have my body focusing all its energy on that. Oh yeah, but remember to be calm while somebody's constantly upsetting you. Remember to keep your voice down when you've said this for the 7,000th time. Like, it's not easy to be able to be in charge of and in control of all of these things. So when I saw him, and I'm talking about, they were long. It was like 5 paragraph long, 2 really nasty text messages, and they were not nice, and I can admit that. But I still felt like it needed to be said, because, like I said, family will always be the first to test your boundaries. And even though, yes, there does need to be a sense of entitlement. Like, I'm not going to treat my work associates the way I treat my friends. I'm not going to treat my friends the way that I treat my family. My family will always get the best of me. Oh, well, you know, due to my upbringing, friends that I've been friends with for a very long time, I do start to look at them as family. But, you know, but when it comes down to it, the things that I'm willing to tolerate are very different. I'm not willing to tolerate dishonesty or immaturity from people that I call my friends. But from my family, yes, I am willing to tolerate that, because family is unconditional love. I love you no matter what. I don't agree with what you're doing. I don't agree with how you're expressing yourself. I don't agree with how you've treated me in this situation, but I love you regardless, because you're my family. My friends may not always have that option. If you do something that's really hurtful, it's a very strong chance that I might decide, you know what, I don't need that in my life. And even though it's no hard feelings, I wish you the best and good luck on your life journey. You know, no hate, but I don't want to deal with that. I don't want that in my life. I don't want that to be a part of what I consider my circle. You can choose who your friends are. You cannot choose who your family is. And that's why my family does get, when it comes to a sense of entitlement, they do get a part of me that most other people would not get. But at the same time, it does not mean that they don't have, there are certain boundaries that I have that they don't have to adhere to also. My mother gets the highest regard. She's at the very tippity top. It's Jesus. It used to be my grandmother. She's passed on. She's an ancestor now. So now it drops down to, it's my mom, you know. But there are some things that even for my mother, I'm not willing to sacrifice. I'm not willing to sacrifice my mental health for my mom. I'm not willing. And what I mean by that is, you know, there's a lot of things that she expects because our age difference. She's getting a lot older in age. I'm a millennial. You know, we're very outspoken. We're very opinionated. We're very expressive. Me, myself, personally, I'm very extra. I can be very dramatic and things like that. And when I have something to say, it's extremely rare. You will never see me back down when I have something that I feel like I need to express. Whether it's right, whether it's wrong, it's real honesty from me. And so I always feel like I have the right to express it. She is becoming a lot more reserved, where certain things should not be said and certain things should just automatically be done because I am your mother and that's it. And so when it comes to me trying to keep these boundaries in place, you know, there's certain things where I'm either not going to remember to do because I'm literally just not thinking about it, or, you know, I just don't have the energy for it. I don't always have the energy to cater to other people's feelings and other people's emotions and what other people are expecting from me right now. I'm trying to make sure that this baby is healthy. I'm trying to make sure that my body stays healthy. I'm trying to make sure that I stay happy so that that energy gets sent down to my little bundle of joy. And I'm trying to make sure that my child's father has everything he needs to build a proper foundation for a new child. He already has 2 kids. He's a father of twins. And so having a new addition, and the twins will be 4 this year. So then they're still very young. So, you know, having to bring on a new baby, trying to lay a foundation for a family is not easy. It's not easy at all. But that's literally all I have the time and the focus and the energy for. So me being able to let everybody come to me with their problems and be able to vent to me and things like that, I don't have that same mental capacity anymore, because it's hard for me not to take on the people's problems that I care about as my own. It's hard for me to watch the people that I care about, watch them deal with a problem, experience a problem, and not have my heart ache for them, because I want things to be better. I want to fix it. I'm a fixer. So if you come to me, it's going to automatically come out. My thoughts or my resolutions will come out unless you specifically say, I just want you to listen. I just need a vent right now. I just need an unbiased ear. I just want to get this out. I don't need any advice or anything. I just want to be able to get it out. Unless you tell me that, I'm going to be offering resolutions back to back, because that's just how I am. I like to fix things. Because that's how I am with myself. If I have an issue, I don't sit and cry and wallow about it. I probably will acknowledge the fact that I'm frustrated and acknowledge the fact that it's a sucky situation, or acknowledge the fact that I don't like it. But I'm going to have a resolution by the time I'm done acknowledging all those feelings behind it. So getting into it with her was a lot more difficult for me and my brother, because me and my brother have had arguments before. We've screamed at each other before, and me and my mom have too, but it's different when you're arguing with a parent, especially because I rely on her a lot right now while I'm going through this. She's a mother of 4 kids. She's done this 4 times. So when I have those pains or I have those sensations and I don't know what they're about, she's the first person that I want to go to ask, hey, is this normal? Is this okay? Like, I had pain in my belly button one time. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I went across the hall and I interrupted. She was on the phone and I interrupted her conversation because I was panicking. Like, is this normal? Why does my belly button hurt? Like, am I stretching? Is like the baby dying, or what's going on? Like, am I dying? I'm unfortunately and fortunately I'm dramatic like that. And you know, she was able to just touch it, and you know, within a few minutes I was calm and I went back to my room and life carried on as normal. But it's hard because part of me gets upset if I've said, listen, I just need for you guys to give me a break for this amount of time. Don't expect too much of me for this amount of time, and they can't do it. It makes it seem like you're willing to let me bend over backwards for you guys and do all the things that you guys need for me to do, or want for me to do, or expect for me to do. But then when it's your turn to do it, you can't do it. And that, I have a big problem with that, because I didn't always know my self-worth. I didn't always like myself that much. But once I, acknowledge my self-worth and realize how much I love myself, it's hard for me to not get what I give reciprocated back to me, because I associate that with value. If I'm able to do for you, I expect for you to be able to do for me. May not be done in the same way, may not be done in the same time format, but I expect for you to be able to do for me as well. So, when they go against or what I feel like testing my boundaries, that's you saying you're not willing to bend over backwards for me. You're not willing to be compassionate. You're not willing to just give me these 9 months. Now we're down to 4.5 months. Give me these last few months for me to just focus on myself and my mental health. I can't really do too much outside of that. I don't expect for that to be a problem. I can see how it can come up sometimes, but the thing about it is we're all grown adults. We all have multiple support systems if you so choose to utilize them. It's like when you're in management and you have that favorite employee, and you know that if you give this employee something, they'll get it done, it'll be taken care of, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But sometimes you can overwork that employee, and that employee will resent you. They'll start hiding from you. They'll start being busy all of a sudden, and they'll start to be a little hostile because you never go to anyone else. You don't give them a break. And that's kind of how I was feeling when it came to my close bonds with my family and those boundaries that I'm talking about. Like, I need a break sometimes. I'm not going to always do everything right. I'm not going to always be able to appease everybody and everything that they constantly expect from me. Or even if it's just a little bit. I can't appease anyone but myself right now. And I would just like for that to be understood and okay with everyone else around me. Because that's what I need. It's what I need. I'm not asking for it to be forever. But it's just, while I have this baby in my body, I expect for you guys to be able to do this for me. And so I was really hurt. I was really, really hurt because I interpreted it as, well, you can do all this for me, but I'm not going to do it for you. And it really hurt my feelings. It took me some time to realize this is just how they choose to react to our fallout or our interaction or me upholding my boundaries. It's not my place to decide, well, you should be okay with me not wanting to help you out. You should be okay with me not being able to appease you right now. You should understand why. Everybody has their own set of emotions and their own process to go through. It's not really my place to say it should be like this or it should be like that. That's the truth. It's not. And once I came to that realization, it became a lot easier to end the beef, I guess you should say, or just let the conflict go. Let it go. It's not important when it comes to the bigger picture of things, having a falling out. And, you know, even though it came around my birthday time, like God willing, I will celebrate plenty more birthdays. I've had wonderful, wonderful birthdays that I didn't even expect. And honestly, I give myself the best gifts anyway. So that's not even a problem. Because I treat myself. I really do. But just come to find out, you know, things have worked themselves out. Me and my mom, it was a doctor's appointment. We all went to the doctor's appointment together, DJ, myself, and my mom. And we were able to, you know, reconnect during that time. And, you know, no bad feelings, not bringing up, you know, just a slight few comments here and there. But you know, there was no need to dive back into the conflict. You know, we both were able to just let it go and move on and focus on what's important. And that's honestly, that is my reason for everything. So when we're all focused on the bigger picture, which is right now this baby that I'm about to bring into the world, that's when everything gets back in motion. The world is spinning the way that it should. We're all working together. We're all getting along, and we're all remembering what's most important. So I will say that saying, it takes a village, that is very true, because I'm not the type of person. I used to say all the time, I don't need anyone. I can do everything by myself. But honestly, it's not true. I could do this alone, but I would probably be scared and miserable trying to do this without my mom, or trying to do this without any family support. Would be very hard for me. I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Because during our fight, I said a lot of those same old things that I used to say, and the truth of the matter is, it's not true anymore. It's not true anymore. You know, I know that my family loves me, and it feels good to know that even though we don't always see things eye to eye, and we have disagreements, and we have arguments, and we yell and we scream and we fight, that we're still always there for each other at the end of the day. We're still always there for each other, no matter what. I could have screamed at her, but if I call her and say, I'm scared, there's something wrong with the baby, all that other extra stuff goes out the window, and she would be there for me. Same with my brother. If I called him and I'm stranded somewhere, bro, listen, I know we had a falling out, but I really need your help. Can you come get me? He would come get me. Like, that's that. And to me, that's what matters. That is what shows that my logic was not true. Oh, just because I want you to respect my boundaries, now you're not going to do for me anymore. And it's not true. They're still willing to do for me. They never said that they weren't willing to do for me. It's just the way they choose to process things may not be the way I process things. And that's okay. That's 100% okay. So that's why I wanted to do a whole separate video on this, because it was a lot. And it is very hard. It is very hard, but I don't have any regrets. I'm proud of myself for standing my ground and sticking to my boundaries, because it's these type of situations where they understand at the end, just like I understand their side at the end. I'm only doing this for the sake of my baby. Like, my mental health affects the baby's health. The way I process and manage stress impacts the way this baby grows. And until me and this baby are separate, and everything that I go through is not automatically transferred to my child, I'm going to be extremely, extremely protective about what I choose to deal with and what I choose to expose myself to. And I'm not going to make any apologies to anybody about that. So it was hard. I took an L on my birthday, spent it by myself, not a big deal, you know. I'm grown. And I have plenty of wonderful days to make up for it, but I don't regret it at all. Your family will always be the first to not respect your boundaries, but that doesn't mean break your boundaries, and it doesn't mean give your family a pass either. At some point, you know, you guys have to come to at least an understanding of, this is what I need right now. If you cannot possibly respect or contribute to what I need right now, then maybe we should just keep a little bit distance for a while. And that's it. It's that simple. Not saying every single argument or every single fight can be handled that way, but I know when it comes to me, and because I used to very quite often, I used to back down a lot. This is too much turmoil. The fighting's not worth it. I hate fucking conflict. If I can avoid it, I will. People probably don't believe that because I'm so opinionated and I'm so expressive. I hate conflict. I hate it. If I can avoid it in any other way, if I can just have a decent conversation without anybody flying off the handle, myself included, I will always choose that option. Always. Doesn't matter who the person is or what the falling out was about. I'm very understanding because I've been through a lot of shit, and I didn't always make the best choices myself. So it's easy for me to not judge people. I'm going to have an opinion, but I'm not going to judge you based off what you decided to do. I don't know your circumstances. You could be going through anything. And just because we know each other, or even if we live together, doesn't mean I know what's going on in your head all day, every day. So, family. This was the ugly that I went through. But I will say it had to be considered growing pains. Just them understanding how much this pregnancy means to me, and how much my child's health means to me, and how much I'm not willing to sacrifice that for anyone. For anyone. Not my child's father, not my mother, not my brother, not any of my close girlfriends, not anybody in my circle. Nobody goes above my health and the baby's health right now. That is a promise that I have made to myself that I will not break. So if you don't agree with it, it's unfortunate. But, you know, sometimes when you know what's best for you, you know what's best for you. And you just got to stick to it, and don't let anybody make you feel bad or try to talk you out of it, or say that you're doing something wrong. Because at the end of the day, only you know what is best for you. Nobody else can tell you. Even if they know all your business, even if you live together, you see each other every day, there's no other you on this planet other than you. So you're the only one that knows what you need. So that is my first 30-year-old lesson, turning 30. I learned that day, number one. No matter what, don't let anybody cross your boundaries, because your family, if the love is unconditional the way that it should be, it'll resolve itself one way or the other. And you don't have to be in control of it either. I was a control freak. I want to be in control of everything, and it should go like this and like that and like this and like that and like this. And once you let go and just give the situation to God, give it to the universe, let them handle it, it resolves its own so beautifully that you don't even have to do anything. So that is my message. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. Please subscribe, because I'm going to have plenty of other good, bad, and ugly to talk about. I'm sure. Any links of anything, I don't think I mentioned any links that I need. I'm going to go ahead and put my brother's Instagram and information down, and put my mom's, just in case you guys have any questions for them. Or just want to see, you know, I look just like my mom. I'm going to go ahead and put their information down if you have questions from a parental point of view about this particular video. But that is it. That is all that I have for you guys today. Please feel free to comment. I was caught up on what I should be producing more content about, if it needs to be more my personal life or more tools and reviews and tutorial type of thing. So please feel free to add any commentary, any criticism, anything you would like to see down below. And thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. Love and light. Bye-bye.